Hi guys, what's going on? And welcome back to another episode of Total War Arena. So, we're back with the Wardogs for you today. So, obviously, if you watched my patch notes video, or just read the patch notes in the last 3.1.14 patch, then you'd have seen Wardogs actually got a small buff. And I've kind of been meaning to break them out to have a look what's changed and to see if it's really made much of a difference, much of an improvement, and sort of what has exactly changed. So, without going into the exact details of everything that's changed on them, well, not that there's that much, but I covered that in the patch notes video. Basically, they've had two changes. They've had a missile block chance increase, and they've been given access to different consumables. So let's start with the missile block chance. So traditionally, they had a very low missile block chance. I think it was maybe 22 on these tier 7s, but don't quote me on that. I'll have to check the patch notes. And they bumped it up to 38 base, and of course I'm still getting the +5 from the shield arm as well. So their missile block chance is now at least sort of respectable. You know, before it was to the point where they just took so much damage, the handlers, that is, from missile damage, it was just ridiculous. The dogs themselves I don't think got much of a missile block chance increase. I think it was mostly the handlers. Although I'll probably have to check that in the patch notes to actually confirm that. But as far as I'm aware, it's mostly the handlers that got that missile block increase. It's certainly nice. It means they're not going to die quite so quickly to archers out. They're still going to be pretty vulnerable, though. You know, what were we at? 43, was it? Yes, so 43, you know, still going to take a good chunk of damage frontally from enemy archers. So you've still got to watch out for that sort of thing. So that's that. What else changed is the consumable options. So before, they really only had one usable passive consumable, which was Spar. But they've now added in Swear-Oaths, which is going to give us an option for a movement speed, which is fantastic. And they've added in a Feast as well. I'm curious to whether these are going to impact just handlers or just dogs. And thankfully now the statistics are broken down in such a way that we can see it. So let's remove both of these, all of these, on this unit, and let's start again. So Feast is always nice because it's basically a raw damage increase. So you're getting a little bit of extra melee defense, which is nice. A little bit of extra weapon damage, which is nice, and some penetration. Now I don't know if that's going to apply for dogs. So dogs currently get, where is it? 239 plus 21. Let's have a look here. Let's turn that on. 239 plus 31. Okay, so it's applying both to the dogs and to the handlers, I'm assuming, plus 41. Yes, so it's applying to both the handlers and the dogs. That's really critical. So that's actually quite a big buff then, because you're adding quite a lot of extra weapon damage, particularly to the dogs, because they would have that really nice base. Their weapon damage is going to be pretty insanely high, to be honest. So that's 240, that's 270 on a tier 7. Well, that's pretty respectable as well. And it's certainly going to put the weapon damage up of the handlers to a lot more respectable value as well. So 252. So that's really a nice consumable to have access to. So then, assuming that you don't like, you're like me, then you hate the very short-term consumables that are used up. I basically ignore all of these because I hate them. Then it's the choice between Spar and Swear-Oaths. Well, one of my persistent complaints about Wardogs is the lack of movement speed, particularly their handlers, so I'm immediately leaning to Swear-Oaths. What else changes? So with Spar you get charge deflect. It's not that it's not useful, but how often are you being continually charged by cavalry? Not that regularly, I don't think it's that useful. Impact damage, well, you get that with the Swear-Oaths anyway, and the melee attack you get with the Swear-Oaths anyway, so you're basically trading a little bit of charge deflect for a good chunk of movement speed, so easily Swear-Oaths is the better option. Does that affect Wardogs? 0.7. We've got a movement speed increaser anyway. We have, let me just take that off again. I just want to confirm that these are viable on both units, which they are. So they're increasing the movement speed not only of the handlers but of the dogs, and that is critical because that means those dogs are now going to be quite a bit quicker. So that's definitely the way to go. So let's just change these all over. Take you, remove you, and take you. Restock automatically. Got them correct. Make sure I'm not messing it up. Remove you. Remove you. I'll have one of you and one of you. Cool. So let's just hop straight into a battle then. I've pretty much explained what's really changed. But yeah, that's quite a nice little buff. I think, if anything, the consumable changes that have been given to these are more of a buff than the missile block chance, because that's really giving you the tactical options that these dogs should have had from the start. So nice. I like it. Let's hop into a battle. So we are loading in with our Wardogs. Where am I going to go? It's probably not too bad a map for this, actually, to be honest. Quite open, quite a lot of forest, which is kind of favourable for our barbarians. quite a lot of bad ground, quite an open map, so quite a few sort of opportunities for taking advantage of situations and stuff. So I like this sort of map. Where I'm going to go though is another Madder. I don't necessarily want to get caught into a massive fight in the centre. We could go with these Falconsmen actually, to be honest. They already actually feel a little bit nicer. That 7%, I know it's not a lot in terms of movement speed just to the handlers, but that little bit just to take them from feeling a little bit sluggish just to that little bit quicker. And you do feel it, definitely. Obviously not as quick as, you know, if there were... sorry, pikes. Those legionary cavalry are a threat. But this is perfect. Let's wait for my rebellion to pop out. Come on. Deploy the hounds! Let's get our ambush on. Come on, dogs. Get them down. Oh, stupid Falconsman used a stupid charge at a really bad time, so it didn't stop my low dogs from latching on. But they'll get in there now. Good, 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 good. Try and keep some visibility. Those cavalry are a threat. Don't like cavalry. Not against my dogs. Leave my dogs alone. I'm losing visibility on them. Question is, do I recall them or do we leave them chasing them on? It did quite a good chunk of damage. Let's see if those cavalry make a charge of them like that. Okay, we need to get stuck into that cavalry now as quickly as we can. Come on, guys, bring it round, bring it round. They're fighting back. They're going to make an escape for it. I just can't see anything. The lack of visibility is a real pain. We should get good visibility with our ambush. Should give us some more options. Our dogs are keeping up the chase. We are racking up the aggression damage kind of nicely. We might have killed a whole unit, have we? No, it looks like some of them escaped. Oh, but we're still slowly pursuing them down. I'm surprised they don't turn and fight because they're just slowly diminishing their whole unit. And I don't think they're going to really be able to escape from us because they're not that quick, even as Miltiades. And that's obviously nice as well with the extra movement speed on the dogs. I mean, they can keep up with these pikemen, probably in a way that they'd have struggled against Miltiades a bit before. Right, we have to clear this corner on this cavalry. They're going to charge like that. I'm going to go there. Are we going to win that charge? Not so much. Not as much as I would have liked, anyway. Are we going to recall the dogs at that? I think we will. Let's go for a slam there. This unit's struggling on morale. Will it lose its flank before it routes? I think it will. Yes, it will. Nice. Okay, hopefully our dogs can now start to get stuck in against this cavalry. I'm going to hang on with my slam until these cavalry try and make a run for it. Oh, are they oath? They are oath. Okay, let's fight them on them. It's going to be a bit harder fighting these guys because their strikes are going to be quite effective. They're not going to be quite as strong as we once were. We see we're struggling to get damage against them. I'm thinking about pulling out, to be honest. Yeah, it's the right thing to do. Let's break their Oath of Perseverance is what we've got to do. Basically. Let's break off this combat modifier. Come on, people. Let's get out. Pull back, pull back, pull back. And we're going to lose our base cap. I hadn't paid any attention to base. That was silly. That was very silly. No! Well, hopefully this at least gave you a bit of an idea of what these Wardogs are like, even if we're going to get capped out. That's a frustrating way to end it. We'll turn back on these guys. Now they've not got that Oath of Perseverance, so they won't be quite as strong against our dogs as they once were. Yeah, you can see we cut them down a lot more effectively now. Actually, we're going to get one of these to wrap. Yeah, so you've got to avoid Oath of Perseverance Roman cavalry because it's just too strong for us to deal with anything like just with our dogs. So they actually have to be out of the Perseverance to get enough damage. Don't have enough melee attack, I don't think, to land the hits. But there we go. That was a defeat. That was probably largely my fault. I should have hung back a little bit more. So I did push quite aggressively. I think it was the prospect of killing those pikemen were just kind of too tempting for me, lured me onwards, I think. But still, it kind of gave a fair idea of what these dogs are like. I think some quite nice changes all in all. Particularly it's revolving around those consumables, I think are really nice. I think that makes a big difference. Particularly the swear oaths. That extra movement speed is exactly what they needed. It didn't need to be loads. 7%, it's not a lot, but it's enough. It's what they wanted. That little bit so the handlers with Boudica just not quite so sluggish. Because that's obviously a lot of people run dogs with Arminius because of the fact that Boudica's so slow because she gets no movement speed buffs. They don't get a dash or anything like that. So you kind of feel like they're lacking. But by adding on that's just 7%, they don't feel quite so bad. And then you can take advantage of what Boudica's skills are, you know, with a good charge, with the ambush, so they avoid strikes and they get the extra impact damage. you know, and then you've got the Rebellion as well, which managed to activate at least on the dogs once as they went for the pikes initially. They're great for things like that. Obviously, we were a bit lucky to bump into those pikes. That did give us quite a good bit of damage at the start. I don't know if we did that much. Oh, we didn't do too badly. We racked up some damage pretty quickly. And now, obviously, of course, the dogs are actually quicker themselves. It's not just the handlers, but now when you release the dogs, they're getting, you know, that little bit of extra movement speed. And you can see they're going to be rocking at 5.5, maybe, is that? Which is actually not bad in terms of movement speed, is it? So I think that's certainly something to be fairly respectable. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an overview of what these guys are like. If you've enjoyed it, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Have you played Wardogs since the change? If you have, better, or you don't feel it's sufficient of an improvement? We didn't get any archers to shoot us in that battle, but obviously you don't really want to be being shot at by archers of these guys, even with the missile block increase. And we all know what missile block chance does, so there's not a lot of point in showing that. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments, and subscribe. Do that. And I shall see you all on the next episode.